Have you heard the latest gossip about pyramids?
Yeah, I've been down the rabbit hole.
Radar tomography has identified vertical cylindrical structures extending for hundreds of meters beneath the pyramid. There are 8 of these cylindrical wells descending to an astonishing depth of 648 meters. Even more intriguing, at the base of these structures are 2 massive cubic formations measuring approximately 80 meters in diameter.
But such a discovery should go around like in breaking news and all the media platforms instantaneously, right? Because legit archaeologists came out and say it's fake.
But look, I'm just going to be frank here. I think that I would love this kind of stuff to be true, but it is total bullshit. It is absolute and utter bullshit for so many different reasons. Number one, they're using a method that has never been presented before in depth. It's never been tested. Number two, it follows all the rules of pseudoscience where you present things to the public.
A public that is not informed on the actual evidence that we have, instead of, and it doesn't address the evidence that we actually have.
To be fair, I'm not sure about it yet, but to come out and say it's fake, I'm not gonna come out and say it's fake until I see evidence.
I could sit you off camera. I would like to see them dig the darn thing up, you know. But it would probably.
Righty.
Have you heard the latest gossip about pyramids?
Yeah, I've been down the rabbit hole.
You have. Aha.
Last
That
week we
explains
touched
your
on it.
hairstyle when I walked in earlier.
Yeah. I look like that guy. Who's that guy in a History Channel with like the same?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you did. You look like him.
He looks like he's been high for 20 years. Yeah. What if he's right about everything he said?
It would be a phenomenon in itself.
I guess we'll see in the near future.
We will, if we stick around long enough.
So they came out with this a study that these 2 Italian geologists, I don't know if they were geologists or archaeologists.
I thought I read archaeologists, but anyway,
Yeah,
scientific people.
Yeah, and right away, because it went viral, it was trending.
Mm.
And right away, like some people, as one of those people, be your source from Australia, so like, no, it's fake.
Yeah, that's right.
And everyone was like, oh, yeah, it's fake then. Like nobody asked, like, okay, based on what you say it's fake, what are your sources? Based on what evidence do you say it's fake?
Mm.
So apparently the study that got mixed up with this new study has been done in 2022.
Sure.
And they found a new chamber in the pyramid. And that's all documented and legit.
Inside the actual pyramid,
Yes.
not under it.
No,
Yeah,
not under
okay,
it.
yeah.
And people usually, like those people that say, no, this is fake, this new discovery is fake, they all referring to that as study. So they say like, no, it happened in 2022 and they didn't find anything under it and just find a new extra chamber inside the pyramid.
Mm.
But this new study that has been leaked, those footages, those pages has been leaked. They haven't released it. I don't know if they released it today by now, but they haven't released it last week.
Okay.
A couple of weeks ago. Those footage and those information has been leaked. And there was a 4-hour press conference or presentation or whatever you want to call it that they went through and that it hasn't been published yet.
Okay.
So this stuff, soon we're going to figure out if it's actually legit or not. But it's not fake.
Yeah. Okay.
We need to figure out what's coming out of it.
Mm.
So whoever said like, oh, yeah, then no, that's fake. They just
Yeah.
like...
Actually, little sidetrack, but this business of fake and real, I think we could really do a whole podcast just on that too. I think it's very important for for what we're doing, especially, here. So, when I first saw the drawings of this thing under the pyramid, my first impression was nuclear power station. If you look at how they're constructed, they have very long, deep tubes with the uranium in them in some form and water. So I mean, there have been a lot of theories and ideas that the pyramids have been some kind of power source in earlier civilizations. It's a hard word to say. Sorry. And, to me, this might just be further proof that this was the case. And as you well know, Barney, they've never actually found any what do you call it, dead people, mummies in the pyramids, just that the rooms were named the King's Chamber and the Queen's Chamber, but there's never actually been anything there, have there?
No.
Yeah. So I would really like to think that this is the purpose of them. And if you think of a 648 long tube, it doesn't sound like it's the sort of thing that a human could utilize in any form, and unless you can levitate up and down, But then why do you need 8 tubes to do that? So I mean, to me, that's more what's the word? Confirms the idea that it could be some kind of energy source.
You want to know our friend's take on it? Our dear friend Jason Jorjani.
Oh, okay. Yeah, tell me. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can pull it up on.
I didn't know he had a take on it, but I'm glad he has. Yeah.
He has take on everything.
Oh, yeah, that's the point.
It was a post on Instagram.
Okay. Oh, and I would, if this is true, maybe someone can figure out how the darn thing works, and then we won't need any nuclear power stations or oil and blah blah polluting the planet. Think of that.
Yeah.
If it is electricity that it produces, and I have assumed that from earlier civilizations that the power from these pyramids would have been used for powering their spacecraft or things. But when you think about it, the pyramids are obviously not working at the moment, but we've still got spaceships flying around. So I wonder if they actually use this pyramid power for some other purpose.
So here it is.
Great. Oh, there it is, yes.
Scientists have finally discovered the Atlantean colony beneath Giza.
Okay, fair enough.
I suspect that those spirals are the staircases leading down into the vast subterranean structures under the entire plateau, extended to the Atlantean archives deep beneath the Sphinx.
Oh, well, I would like to think he was correct. Yeah, that would be amazing.
So there is a YouTube video attached to it. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see what is Jason on about.
It makes the building of the actual pyramids look like chicken feed compared to this, doesn't it? You imagine these things 648 meters deep, just those.
How tall is the pyramid?
Not that
Khafre
tall.
Pyramid.
It's definitely not 600 meters tall, that's for sure. Maybe 100, 150.
Yeah, good thing is that Google
Yeah.
for ordinary information is a good source.
But just taking a look at that diagram you just pulled up, the pyramids are distinctively much shorter.
Under 36 meters.
Oh, I wasn't far off. Yeah, there you go.
The Khafre Pyramid. So 6 times more?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Wait a second. Is it exactly 6 times? No.
I'm getting that way. No, that's, details,
A
but
little
yeah.
less. Yeah.
But it makes the compared. I mean, we always think of these pyramids as some enormous structure, but compared to those, it's just like the little point on the top of a pencil, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's the tip of the iceberg, literally.
Yes.
Mm,
And to me, it's further confirmation that they had building technology which we don't today.
mm.
Because, I mean, just building the pyramids is way beyond us. Imagine building this vast underground structure, and God knows what is in the bottom of it too,
Yeah.
I've actually heard mention of this chamber underneath the Sphinx from various psychics in the past too. I'm not quite sure which ones, but I've heard it more than once. It would be awesome to find out it's true, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I thought I saw this video before, but let's see. This is the video that Jason Jorjani shared on his Instagram.
Yes, and that's the one I saw first.
Mm.
Words just how significant of a discovery this is.
How? Tell us.
Yeah. Tell us.
What has just been announced in relation to the pyramids at the Giza Plateau and the plateau itself is so incredible, so awe-inspiring and narrative shattering that I have been sitting here for the last hour trying to wrap my head around the implications of what we were just told. So this is pretty much breaking news because the new findings were announced on the 16th of March at a press conference held by the team who were studying the Great Pyramid of Giza with a non-invasive technology that was first developed by Filippo Bionde and Corrado Malanga called synthetic aperture radar Doppler tomography. So this was used to explore the internal structure of the Great Pyramid of Giza. And this method leverages the analysis of micro movements typically generated by background seismic activity.
So he's referring to that study in 2022 first,
Yep.
as I did.
And that's when they found the new.
I don't know if I was, maybe I was influenced by this video.
Okay.
Because it helped me to figure out, it's like, okay, yeah, they say like it was 2022, all the other stuff was bullshit. But then I'm like, okay, but this is two separate studies.
Yeah.
To achieve a high resolution, full 3D tomographic imagery of the pyramid's interior and subsurface components. The recent findings from deploying this technology are nothing short of mind-blowing, because what's been discovered is that there are huge structures coming down from the base of the pyramid deep into the bedrock, in fact over 600 meters deep, which then connects to structures that extend up to 2 kilometers below the surface of the ground. 2 kilometers. Massive internal structures connected to the base of the pyramid and extending deep, deep down. This is what we know so far. Utilizing high-resolution radar images from Capella Space and Umbra, which are 2 private companies that specialize in satellite-based synthetic aperture radar imaging. This has allowed researchers to create a 3D model of the internal structure of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Now, this model has revealed a previously unknown chamber with 5 horizontal levels and a sloping roof, which in of itself is an architectural design unlike any previously documented in the Giza Pyramid. But the most shocking discovery lies beneath the surface. Below ground level, radar tomography has identified vertical cylindrical structures extending for hundreds of meters beneath the pyramid. There are 8 of these cylindrical wells arranged in 2 parallel rows, descending to an astonishing depth of 648 meters. Even more intriguing, at the base of these structures are 2 massive cubic formations measuring approximately 80 meters in diameter. The tomographic data suggests that these are vertical wells with intricate spiral pathways. Now, this design not only implies a functional purpose, but also a level of sophisticated engineering that completely blows the dynastic Egyptian model out of the water. I mean, the pyramid itself was already a massive red flag in the ancient Egyptian historical narrative. But now, with this discovery, I think it's become impossible to say that the Egyptian civilizations that we understand, that we've been taught about, were responsible for building these structures. And it doesn't even end there. The radar analysis extends beneath the entire Giza plateau, revealing interconnected structures beneath not only the Great Pyramid of Giza, but also those of Khufu and Menkaure. The subsurface network reaches down to a staggering depth of approximately 2 kilometers. 2 kilometers. This is not possible given the standard historical and archaeological narrative given to us about ancient Egypt. Now, I'm hearing that there is more to come. There is a 4-hour presentation that's going to be released by the research team. This is what I'm hearing. That's going to go into every detail of their findings. This has essentially been a strategic release of incredible data ahead of time to get people interested. And I am more interested in this than basically anything else right now, because this is by far the most provocative piece of evidence for not only a potential technological explanation for the purpose of the Giza complex, but it also provides the most extraordinary evidence for a pre-flood era civilization that was flourishing in a way that we can scarcely comprehend. It's also possible that this spiraling cylindrical series of structures are staircases, and I can't help but think of the channeled writings of Thoth the Atlantean, the emerald tablets, speaking of a lost hall of records, a sacred hall of knowledge below the Giza plateau, the halls of Amenti. Could this be the lost hall of records from the pre-flood era? Now, obviously, this discovery is extremely controversial. It runs as a complete contradiction of the established narratives and status quo in mainstream academia on these issues. This will cause big waves throughout the academic and the wider world if they can fully evidence these findings. But the results so far seem pretty clear. There is obviously significant structural engineering taking place deep below the pyramids and the Giza plateau in general. Has this changed your mind on the pyramids? Has this strengthened your position on what they might have been? Has this new discovery given you any new ideas about what the implications are? Let me know in the comment section below. And honestly, everyone.
So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. That was the first thing that I sent to you too, I think.
But he didn't refer to any new study here.
No.
It was just continue.
He ran them together. Yeah. The old and the new.
No, just the new was just the announcement.
Yes.
So they had this information, or did they sit on it for 3 years?
Or maybe, yeah. Or maybe they've been researching it more thoroughly. I imagine something that massive must take quite a bit of work, not knowing the full implications of how the equipment works, but, if it's something that big, maybe it takes more time.
So it wasn't fake.
I'm very happy to hear that. I really am.
But such a discovery should go around in breaking news in all the media platforms instantaneously, right?
You would think so, yeah.
It's groundbreaking discovery.
Yeah.
We thought, are they trying to keep the narrative the same? Who's that helping?
I don't have a very healthy opinion of the press anymore, I'm afraid. I feel that they are more or less totally controlled by certain groups with certain intentions in mind, and this maybe does not suit their purposes.
To be fair, I'm not sure about it yet, but
I'm
not going to come out and say it's fake until I see evidence.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, wow.
Like I said to you off camera, I would like to see them dig the darn thing up, but it would probably...
I don't think they're going to dig it, but they're going to probably send some, probes.
Well, whatever, yeah.
To go down.
That'll do it, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna destroy the structure, but
No.
to come out and say it's fake,
Yeah.
because I think like these like legit archaeologists came out and say it's fake.
Yes. What I would like to see now happen too, if it hasn't already, is that they take this amazing equipment and check out other pyramids around the world.
Mm.
And I think especially of the Central American and South American pyramids, they're the ones that, are, as I understand, that are most like these ones, the Egyptian pyramids. But then we also have China and Indonesia and India and God knows where else. Maybe they were all power sources,
Power plants.
Power plants. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, we can start with one. We don't have to, like, that's what I mean. You unlock one and then it gives you room for more discoveries. But
Yes.
it feels it's being suppressed and fight against.
There again, it may be some degree of coincidence with other pyramids around the world. Maybe they aren't all power sources. Maybe some of them for religious purposes or whatever. Who knows? But it just comes back to truth and not truth, which to me is a real biggie, especially and this time now, as you mentioned with fake news before. How do we really ever know the truth, if there is such a thing as the truth? And where I'm leading to with this is, I know we all have kind of gut instinct about things, and I think that's probably the best weapon we're going to have in the long run. And when it relates to the Egyptian pyramids, even when I was a small kid, I just didn't really feel that it rang true as burial chambers. Of course, then I didn't know what, but I've never really bought that notion that they're just there for ceremonial purposes. And so when I saw this, when I sent it to you, whenever it was, I didn't think it was fake. I thought, yeah, that makes sense. There is something more to it. And I still feel that now. So I'm just telling you this now because I want my little hunch tool to be correct, and I hope we will have it proved so in the future. But I think that's more and more what we humans are going to need to work on in the future, thanks to all this fake news going around. It's
Well, I hope this whole study and the presentation comes out, and then all the archaeologists, all the big archaeologists that were wary against any other narrative, and they were trying to rationalize, no, it's been built by, who was it? The civilization that they believed.
you mean before the Egyptians?
No,
Oh, I'm a bit lost there.
no, it's all right.
In my world,
He said it in the video. I
Okay,
cannot
never mind.
recall.
in my world, they were actually the same group as the Atlanteans.
No, I know, but the conventional explanation, the conventional narrative for it is that all the archaeologists were pushing on. Now they're cornered. With this new- it's like,
Yes.
Okay, so you think they built this too with like a horse and buggies and
Yeah.
fucking like slavery and shit? They built this too. You believe that?
Yeah. Wow.
Now it's
Gee.
like blew that out of the,
Yeah.
it's that narrative is done.
Yeah.
Now let's sit around the table and talk again. They
Good.
cannot, but I'm not sure when it's gonna come out. Definitely,
Or if,
we're gonna
yeah.
cover it.
Would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was a little update on what but it
yeah.
was so new when we heard it and recorded a podcast about it. So I didn't know, and you say it's fake, and I was like, "Is it okay?" And then, like, I did
didn't
some
want
research.
to believe that when I said it, but my source was very convincing.
Usually these sources are, when they want to say something is fake, it's like it's so personal for them.
Yes.
And with these archaeologists and all these people that try to like keep everything, the old narrative over everything else, they take it personal.
Yeah.
It's like their reality, their worldview will shatter if they accept anything new.
Yes.
But fact doesn't care about your feelings, bro.
No. Yeah, absolutely.
It works both ways,
Yes. Yes, I know.
So facts doesn't care. It's like, how can you explain that? I'm sure they're gonna explain it. I'm sure. No, but these engineers, they had the materials to just it's just dig a hole, dig a 600, 48 or 84 meters hole
with a copper spade.
Yes, slavery, man.
Yeah,
it's powerful.
Yeah.
So
no, we I think everyone knows there's lost technology in this sort of thing. Has to be.
Yeah, but it's sad that we don't, comprehend the idea. We do, but we don't, we have this approach that no, if we cannot explain it now and we don't have that technology, then we cannot go there.
No, yeah.
We cannot speculate. It's like, yes, we should. Not only we can, we should.
Yes.
Because what if we discover something?
Yeah.
Discover a new way of doing.
I got a feeling that Nikola Tesla was on to something with this, but I don't think he probably finished his studies before he died, unfortunately.
Well, all his studies, all his recordings and everything has been confiscated by FBI.
Yes.
Or CIA.
Yeah.
Either.
Them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
So.
But we know he could send electricity through the air without wires.
Yeah, wireless electricity. Yeah.
He proved that.
Tesla Tower, yeah.
And maybe this thing here, the pyramid structure, was some version of that. But I still want to know what they do with that power. That's even more exciting to me. I don't think it was for spaceships because, like I said, we got spaceships now, but we don't have any functioning pyramids. So, yeah, another mystery to be solved.
Yeah, because when you think about it, all these pyramids around the world, this is stupid to build that huge, biggest pyramids everywhere and have no function for it.
Well, that we know of, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
it's like, how can you explain that? Yeah, okay, in one area or one country, they bury their kings or queens in it. What about all around the world? China.
Yes.
What about China?
Yes.
South America.
Yes.
Bosnia.
Exactly. Well, one aspect we must think about is what your friend Jonathan brought up last week, and that is that then buildings were there and other people came and squatted in them. I am pretty sure that was true of the Aztec Maya civilizations. I think they were already there when they turned up, and probably Egyptians too. I don't think Egyptians had this technology to build this sort of stuff. They were squatters, as Jonathan said.
They took credit for being the builders, but they're just renovating.
Yes,
and cleaning. And
what is it? Genuine ancient Egyptian technology is, if we look at the Valley of the Kings, they did some pretty amazing stuff there, but it's not the same technology as I understand it. And that's where they do find mummies.
Yeah, it's fascinating, and hopefully, we can get our hands on the full study and see what hopefully they don't get canceled now.
And I would like to see if we can do some research into this system of radar scanning and see if it's been used elsewhere in the world. Maybe not just on pyramids, but on God knows what. Sounds really exciting if you can see underground that clearly, you know.
I'm not sure, but I think they use a similar method to map out the Amazon jungle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they find structures and
That was LiDAR, I think.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
Well, that's similar, but LiDAR is above ground.
Yeah.
And this, I forgot the name, but it's below ground.
I think they should use that in Amazon too.
I mean, LiDAR showed amazing things in Mexico and Central America too. Whole cities unknown of underneath the jungle.
Yeah.
Just awesome, as well as you said, as well as in the Amazon. But maybe what's under those cities? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. As Graham Hancock famously said, we are a species with amnesia. So
Yeah.
it feels like, it feels like we forget about our past and whatever technological advancement that they achieved. And some people know about it. There are families that that was the thing that me and Jonathan was discussing. I mean, he was telling me that these families, these 20 families, just carried that information and kept it hidden.
Right.
And these all secret societies, because you think about secret societies, what should be, what is the secret? Yeah, you can have some, I don't know, community or whatever. But what is it that it makes it so precious? Knowledge.
Yes.
Knowledge of hidden information, hidden technology, hidden pattern, hidden probably weapons, source of energy,
Yes, that's
resource
right.
of energy,
Yeah. Well,
magic.
Well, just one thing that occurs to me. I know this is fiction, but oh gosh, I forgot the name of the book. It's written about Knights Templar. Anyway, the story goes that they actually had the Ark of the Covenant, and that it seemed to be some kind of machine, which was radioactive too, and that it eventually ended up in Scotland somewhere in the St. Clair's Chapel, something like that. Oh, why can't I think of the name of the book? It was really popular in the 90s. Everyone read it by Mr. Brown. Anyway, if that's got any degree of truth in it, there you have one of your families and one of your societies anyway with a very big secret,
The Knight Templars.
Yes.
Yeah, it is one of those societies.
Yes, that's the one.
Freemasons.
Yeah.
Illuminati.
Oh, yeah.
But if you list them out and you see who got the power now, who got all the wealth and money, and then you start deciphering why the world is the way it is.
Yeah.
If you figure out the BlackRock CEO got the contract to rebuild Ukraine, then everything makes sense. Like why the war happened in the first place. You know what I mean? Because these are questions. It's like, well, what happened with Russia? Suddenly, like, got crazy. Ukraine and then Israel, Palestine. It's like, no, these are not coincidences. These are orchestrated attempt to create a war, sell weapons, get the contract for rebuild it. All this is our calculated moves that we just being played by. And that's the thing, like, I'm trying to bring awareness, like, don't take anything at face value. There is a lot of fuckery behind the scene.
Yes.
I'm not saying you should go around and doubt and be paranoid and doubt everything, but question things. Like, okay,
I agree.
Who's this going to benefit? Where the money goes? Follow the money.
Yeah.
Follow the money and see who gets more benefit, who gets more powerful, who gets more wealthy. And then you can, from that, you can, how do you say, describe a narrative, see things clearly. And unfortunately, we live in a world that greed is running wild.
Yes. I totally agree. But on that point, I just want to mention, as we've discussed before, astrologically, we're moving now into the next cycle, the Aquarian age. And this greed and ego stuff is not going to belong there. So let's hope that we're just seeing the dying gasps of it now, Marnie. I've had enough of it already. In my 72 years, it's a pain in the ass. Yeah. So, I agree with what you said about all this control of, I don't know which groups myself personally, but I do have that feeling. I don't think our dear friend Mr. Trump has very much to say with what he's deciding. I think he's a little puppet to God knows who, probably Putin is too. And I almost don't care who they are, but I do agree with what you're saying, that we need to really look beneath the surface of things and not take it as face value. But I really, really hope now that we're seeing the last of it in our lifetime, hopefully, and that some of this good harmony and understanding, Aquarian age will come in and common decency will reign again,
I think it feels like people are waking up to the idea that capitalism is not serving ordinary people.
No.
It's selling you this vision of like, oh, if you want to have it fair, if you want to have everybody equal opportunity, capitalism is the best system.
Actually,
stay away from any communist ideology, stay away from any other way of, societal structures. Capitalism is the way, it's the end all be all. And people have started to understand, like, no, we cannot give our fate, put our fate in the hands of these greedy motherfuckers that as soon as a company started, as soon as a startup company, entrepreneur, started to like gain some wings and like gain some power, they buy it out. So they have a fucking monopoly all the time. So this is bullshit. Like, you have the opportunity to start a business, but those fucking giant businesses will eat you alive.
Yeah.
What part of that is serving ordinary working classes and people who are ambition enough to make it out of that ordinary class and start a business and possibly go through hell to be successful and then being bought out from this fucking greedy motherfuckers.
But I'm going to jump on you there, Marnie. I absolutely agree with what you're saying with that scenario. But I think actually capitalism is not the problem. It's human greed. Because you look at all the communist countries that we've had, they more or less collapsed for the same reason, greed and control. I mean, if we look at USSR, before they had communism, they had the Tsar and that whole business with the big powerful leaders that controlled everything. And what happened when they got communism? They had big powerful communist leaders that controlled everything. It just changed the name, but it was the same greed there. And that's my take on capitalism too, that if we were just good, decent human beings, we should be able to use capitalism just as an exchange of energy. Okay, if you want to come to me and get a massage, you give me this money and I give you the massage, and that's it. But it's when we start manipulating the system and trying to suck energy out of things that we're not giving anything for, that's when we really lose it, eh? So maybe as we go into the Aquarian age, we still have capitalism, or not. I'm not saying that's the best, but hopefully we've come past the.
I think we can come up with a new system. The capitalism doesn't work because human greed exists.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's the greed, not the capitalism, that I think we need to really work on.
Well, in that case, whatever system will have worked if there wasn't any human greed. If there wasn't any corruption, all these systems are good and dandy on their term. But
Yes.
When it comes to human greed and like manipulating the system, capitalism is the one that can
Yeah. It's
drain out the middle
Yes.
class
Yeah.
and
it's true. Look what's
give
happening
wealth
now.
to the top 1%, and it's just happening in a more
But communism did the
Rap-
same thing too, didn't it?
yeah,
More
but I think
discreetly.
socialism. What about socialism?
Well, socialism is just some middle way with that, which I totally believe in. You and I are sitting in a socialist country with
Well, quote unquote.
well, with capitalist leanings.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think more or less it's working here quite reasonably well. I'm not a long way from perfect, but then we probably have less greed here too, than what's happening in our sister country across the ditch. That's my take on it. And any system could probably work if we can come past the egotistical, greedy side.
I think the systems are there to protect the weak.
Yes,
And by weak, I mean
course.
poor and middle class.
especially socialism. Yeah.
So when you see the system clearly just serving the 1% in the society,
yeah. Well,
it
that's
doesn't matter what the name is.
Yeah.
It's like you should get rid of it. And even here in Sweden, with the socialist country that we have 25 billionaires
yeah.
in 90s or 80s. Now we have 500. We have 10 million population. And when it comes to billions is a crazy number to
Yes.
achieve.
Yes.
So where all the wealth came from for those 475 people that got
Yeah.
billions? Where? I'm asking.
I don't know. Yeah.
From middle class.
They've
From middle class. It doesn't matter if
sucked the system.
it doesn't matter if the middle class live in Australia or USA, because some of them have
Yeah.
global businesses.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what middle class. It came from those people.
Yeah.
It came from the middle class, and it gathered, hoarded in one person. And that's the system. I believe, like in the system that I prefer, that I vote for, is you're not allowed to be a billionaire. You can be a millionaire.
Yeah.
It's all right. You can be wealthy. To have wealth is fine. But when half of world is hungry and don't have shelter to sleep in, you have billions. What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Yes.
How is that supposed to work?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think we touched on this in an earlier podcast, but actually that we reached the stage here in Sweden, apparently, it was before either of us were here, where they had 100% tax for the wealthy. And, well, I think that's a bit over the top, because then there's no space to move at all with 100%. But I do agree with you. I think if we could get to a certain level of wealth, and beyond that, then the tax rate goes very high. Then we'll keep some kind of balance. Absolutely.
Because it should be like that. I don't understand. Like billions. Okay. I've heard something funny. I'm not sure if the math adds up, but it was this clip I watched on TikTok. This black dude was singing that if you earn $100,000 a day since Jesus was born, you still have less than 1/3 of Elon Musk's net worth.
Yeah. Whoa. That's
Just let it sink in.
Yeah.
$100,000 a day,
Yes.
every day, since 2025 years ago.
Yeah. Whoa.
You still have less than 1/3 of Elon Musk's net worth.
Yeah.
So let that sink in, and let's think about 475 billionaires that live in Sweden.
Yeah.
That they got their wealth
Yeah.
in last 20 years,
Yeah.
20 years or so.
Yeah.
That just
I hear what
shows
you're
you
saying.
why
Yeah.
life is so fucking hard for us. Because there are fucking greedy people that try to drain and
Yes. Oh. So we see that working in a capitalist country like USA. We see it working in a socialist country here. And probably we don't have a communist country to compare it with, but I guess similar things.
China.
Yeah, but they're not really communists, are they? They're sort of capitally communist, blah, blah. Very vague. Dictatorship, communist, capitalist, hodgepodge.
Mix of all of it.
Yeah.
So all of those. But what I'm trying to say is, like, I listen to
what you're
Gary
saying.
Stevenson every day because that guy is my Jesus.
Yeah. Okay.
That guy is my British Jesus.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
he says, like, yeah, capitalism or whatever system you have, if you don't tax the wealthy in a correct way,
Yeah. I heard him say that. And
Nothing
I think he's
will
right.
work.
Yes. And of course, look what's happening now in USA.
And
Has happened.
one thing that they all say is like, oh, they're gonna move from country. Then it's like, yeah, let them move. They cannot move their assets, and even if they can, they cannot move their customers.
Yeah.
This, even if they have a worldwide business that they're selling through via internet or whatever.
Yeah.
The person that make those purchases live in like UK, US, Sweden, whatever. So we can tax them at the purchase. Like, yeah, you make this money, we tax you, and we're not taxing on the like where the products come from. We tax you based on the regulation of the place that purchase has been done.
Yes. Yeah. Oh.
Because that's the only way to to get rid of all the fuckeries they do. Like, they buy the product from China and they say like, no, this product is from I don't know, like Switzerland or some shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a
It's very interesting.
quick one. I'm hoping for the future that people are awake to these facts. Like, yeah, we should take a second opinion on what is happening around us.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Bravo, mister.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.